actually exists. So 3 points that I'm pretty sure anybody, could probably answer these. But like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. We'll start with point number one, that the Earth has curvature that has been measured. Now, in your understanding of the knowledge of globe Earth, do you know if the curvature of Earth has ever been measured, either in ancient times or now?
I have no idea. I don't really look into that stuff.
Well, it's all good, man. Like I said, no right or wrong answers here. So, okay, well, we could assuredly say that the curvature of Earth being measured would just probably stand out as a belief in your mind, right?
Yeah, I guess like most people just follow the sheep,
Okay.
cattle, and then they just
Yeah.
believe everyone else.
Okay. All right, cool. So with that, we'd say that it's just a belief you have that the Earth has curvature. We'll move off to point number two. Point number two being that the Earth is spinning on its axis, like it's turning. So how do you know that it's the people have ever recorded that the Earth has been turning, or that they know it is? Like what information do you have that you know that it is turning? Doesn't matter right or wrong answer here. Just
once again, I don't know that because I haven't looked into it.
Hey, dude, like whatever. Like I said, if you any information, even if you don't know, that's still fine with me. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll move that off into the realm of just something that you believe, the story that they told you about the Earth, which is, would you agree with that? Because I mean, you didn't present anything, so we'll just say that you just believe what the people have taught you. Let's say school or whoever.
Can I mention something?
With that, oh, 1 second, Unisical.
Sure, no problem.
I'm just gonna run through these points with your friend, and then we'll continue forward. So it's just a belief that you have that they told you that the Earth is spinning on its axis or it's turning. So we'll move off to point number three, which is the vacuum of space is a medium that you could travel to, or that it actually exists. This is a big one, right? So how do you know that the medium of the vacuum of space actually exists? It doesn't, like, no right or wrong answer came down to just what you know.
So, I've come to believe that, or I would say no, because I believe that I know, in my opinion, that the Earth is a globe, and that the atmosphere keeps back the vacuum of space.
Okay,
that's what I know.
Okay, you're saying in this instance, on point number three, which is the vacuum of space, you're saying you don't believe you know. So you're standing
I guess you could say I believe because I don't actually have any data on it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like I said, so long as we establish a foundation in which we can have a conversation, that's great. I mean, but if you're being intellectually honest, then that's still fine, right? Because I mean, you're saying this is just something that they told me and I believe it.
Yeah,
it's not something I checked out for myself. So cool, fair enough. So just establishing the 3 points of the globe. Point number one being that Earth curvature is something that has been measured. You're like, well, I just believe what they told me of the curvature of Earth. Point number two, axial rotation, that the Earth spins on its axis, is another belief that you have in your mind about the globe. And point number three would be the vacuum of space being a medium that anybody can travel to, is also something that you believe that they told you via, the stories, satellites, whatever, astronauts. It's just something you believe is there because, you think that it supports an idea that you've always known, right? So understanding that these 3 points are all based on a belief system, that from the paradigm that has been given to you about the Earth being in space and in the solar system, something that you cannot verify, it stands out to reason that you've only been believing a story and you haven't verified any of these things for empirical evidence. So that's interesting, right? Because a lot of people wouldn't come to the realization of this, but you have. So that's how we can begin a foundation for our conversation. Now, is there any questions that you might want to ask, like on the flat Earth? Any questions you might want to have for flat Earth? I mean, we'd like to answer some questions for you now.
So as I said at the start, if you know that the Earth is flat, are you saying that the other planets in our solar system are also flat?
Okay, so anything that's in the sky, like what they would consider planets, or what we would see up there, is basically just a story that they have given you. And we could refer back to point number 3 where we talked about the vacuum of space, because when we talked about point number 3, it supports this idea that any information that they've given you cannot be verified by you, the one interpreting the information. So if they told you that there's planets and Jupiter is a gas giant, or that Mars is a red planet, whatever, terra firma out there, whatever they say, whenever they give you that information, you cannot verify it independently. So anything that you hear, you're just going to take it on credit. Just, okay, I believe you guys because you guys got the technology and I don't, kind of thing. So at this current time, whatever they say that thing is up there that you're looking at, you're going to believe them. I mean, to you, it could be just a light in the sky, but it's attached to a story that they're giving you. You understand? I don't know. Does that make any sense? Like,
well, so you're saying that I can look up in the sky right now, and I'm looking at the moon right now, for example.
Sure.
Are you saying that the moon isn't there?
No, I'm saying the moon is there because that's what they call it, right? Okay. But the attributes that they give it is something that you believe to be true as well. So what do they say the moon is, Kame Zonda?
It's a globe.
That the official story is that it's a globe, and what is its physical attributes? What is it made of? Well, not
I guess rock.
Thoroughly. Yeah, right. Not thoroughly consistent, but like what the official narrative would be, like it's a giant floating rock in space, right?
Yeah, rock and ice.
Right. So that being the case, how are you going to verify shape or what it's made of, what it consists?
Well, I guess you could argue with that with most things, though. Like,
okay,
things on the news, I can't verify everything.
Well, yeah,
the news because it's the news.
Sure, we could put other things aside and just focus on the moon. Just the moon. How can you verify its shape and what it consists of? What it's
personally, I cannot.
Sure, that's the honest answer, right? Like anybody could say that honestly. Hey, I can't do it. So if that is the case, then why are you, me, and everybody else who has been told this story just believing something that they have told us without verification? What would be the reasoning behind it? Because if we do believe that story and we can't check it out ourselves, then what is that called? Do you know the answer to that?
No idea.
If you believe something that somebody has told you and you can't check it out for yourself, you're basically trusting them. You have faith in this, whatever person told you this.
Okay, so then if they're saying that it's a globe, and I'm like, okay, I don't know that. What's to say that the Earth is flat?
Okay, so if the Earth is not measured to have any kind of curvature anywhere, then what is it?
I mean, it could be a cone. Like
no. Well, we're talking,
and then it goes down.
Yeah, we're talking about overall shape here, but just a description of what we can measure. So if we can measure a short distance, right? I don't know, 25 miles, 30 miles or something. And within that range, we don't find the curvature drop rate as it's purported by the metrics of the globe. So if we do not find any curvature to this ball Earth, then what is it? Because if there is no curvature, then there can only be one other thing that it can be. No curvature, then what would it be?
I guess you could say, yeah, as I just said, if I said it's a cone, theoretically it's still flat. Because
right. So, and that's the thing. So, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with the metrics, Kame Zonda. Do you know the metrics of the Earth, like what its purported size is? The radius is all that. Do you know any of that?
I don't believe I do.
Right. So the radius is 3959, right? As far as like what the metrics are, is circumference of 24,901 miles. Just a bit of math that are attached to the ball. So with the math that they
Can you pause for a second? We'll pause right here. Don't you see that there's something wrong when you just said that Miggy asked you, do you know the size of the ball you're on, or whatever you believe that you're on? Do you know the size of it? And you're like, no, I don't believe I do. But then why do you believe it's a ball if you don't even know the size of what you're standing on, bro?
Isn't that just trivial knowledge, though?
Yeah. Hang on, Vlad. I got this, brother. He's already established that so far with the 3 points, he has a belief system. So we're getting into the understanding of the flat Earth questions and like why we understand it to be flat and not a globe. So yeah, he's already established that in the very beginning of the 3 points. I don't know if you were privy to the conversation, but this has already been the foundation of our discussion.
I must have missed the point where.
Yep.
What do you call it?
He's already yeah. Yeah,
no, what just really confused me right now. This guy believes into the ball, right? Whatever, and he just says, I don't know any of the dimensions of this ball I believe into. You know what I mean? That's what tripped me out.
Yeah. But with that, we're kind of showing him that the ball doesn't have any of the dimensions that it said, because it's basically busted once we start putting measurements to it. So
right.
Yeah.
He didn't verify it, right? So there has to be a certain verification involved with this matter that we're discussing, right? Okay.
Right. So we're getting into that. So the point is, with the globe Earth came Zonda, we have the metrics that are given to us. And what can you do if you have maths to something? Well, you could verify it, right? Well, let's check it out, right? If they give you the size of the Earth, then what can you do with that information? Because now you have the size.
Nothing.
Well, yeah, you can do something. Because
not from your home, probably not.
Well, not from your home. I mean, obviously you're going to go outside. Well, it wouldn't be.
You can go outside. You can do all these things.
Yeah,
but experimentally, chances are you can't do anything.
One second. You
you
can't. It's not an experiment, by the way. I think you're using that term, very loosely. You're not applying it to something that it's a what is question. Experiment. That's. Vlad, do you want to say something?
Yeah. He said you can't do this at home. I'm like, bro, slow down. What can you do at home before you go outside? Is you can verify the math that is correct. So they gave us numbers and stuff. Okay, verify it. Redo the calculations yourself, right? You sit down and make sure that the inches per mile squared that they're telling us of rate of curvature, the rate of drop of this ball, is exactly what they did, right? So you redo the calculations yourself, right? That's what you do at home before you go outside. You can do a lot of stuff at home before you go outside. Trust me. Just.
Okay. So.
Because he says you can't do anything at home. I'm like, no, slow down. You can. There's a lot of things you can verify at home.
Probably not accurately.
What do you mean? 1 + 1 is 2, right? That's accurate. Right, so if you're doing
but the thing is, I don't
understand trigonometry. If you understand trigonometry, you understand how to find a rate of curve, a rate of drop on a ball. It's not hard based on the radius value, and they give us the radius value, so you do all this stuff at home.
All right, so UNESCO, I think is the name. UNESCO, is that right?
Hello.
Hey, hello, man. So did you hear the conversation I had with Kame Zonda?
Were you listening? I've been listening in.
All right. So with the 3 points that I presented to Kame Zonda, would you agree with all those 3 points that they were all just belief systems in your mind as well? The curvature to be measured, the first point. The second point was axial rotation is just a belief. And the third one was the vacuum of space is a medium that you could travel to, or that it actually exists.
With the second point, I wanted to mention about, because I remember learning about it in school and university and all that stuff about angular momentum, how that angular momentum is established because of the magnetic poles of the Earth acting against acting against its axis, and that's what's causing it to rotate. If you did not have that axis, then chances are the Earth will not be rotating.
Hey, Maggie, let me cock block you for a minute.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme tonight. So go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Define, first of all, what are the 2 types of momentum that are conserved? I already gave you. I shouldn't even gave you that.
I'm not understanding what the question is.
You invoked conservation of momentum?
Perhaps.
Yeah, do you know, can you give me how many types of momentum are conserved in physics?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, you don't know what you're saying. You're using phrases and terms. Obviously, you don't know what you're talking about because you don't even know the 2 types and the subtypes of those 2 types.
chances are it's because it's probably is 1 a.m. for me, and I'm very tired.
Oh, and you think
No,
they might? You think they might be trivial?
That's not an out. Come on, you just go. That's not an out.
I'm not saying it's an out. I'm saying that.
Well, I know, but you brought something to the table, and now it's like it's time to belly up to the bar, and I don't think you're doing that right now.
Yeah,
I think
I would
Sure.
kind of leave. If I were you, I would kind of leave the sciencey terms behind and just roll with what Miggy has to offer you.
Yeah.
Because, I don't think you want to go down that road. I'm just saying. Pro tip.
unless you do.
Thanks.
Unless you do.
And unless you do, then it's going to get real ugly real fast. Thanks.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
But you didn't think there was any meat to these potatoes? You thought it was just an easy knockdown, huh?
He's got a ringer in the hopper,
Yeah, I know.
brother. Not you, Miggy. Miggy's got a ringer in the hopper. He's talking to you right now. He's the ringer.
Am I meant to be scared, or I'm not sure.
No, absolutely not. No.
If you keep on saying more sciencey terms, you're going to get scared real quick.
You're gonna find out how little you know.
I was just curious because, like, Ewan said whatever Ewan said, and I was curious if that's how compasses work. Because
let's not get off the beaten path here.
Well, no, but it's relevant though.
Yeah. We'll get back to your compasses here in a minute. It has nothing to do with conservation of either of the momentums. It's non sequitur. It would be like toenails having things to do with amoebas. Right? So thanks. Go ahead, Miggy.
All right. So did you want to retract your statement, Unisco, at this point? Because we could take a retraction, man, obviously.
I'd go off and learn about it more than me instantly retracting my statement.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a great idea. What are we retracting?
I'm not going to instantly retract my statement because of something that I've heard from people on the internet. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is right, and I'm not saying what you're saying is right, but I'm just saying.
Okay, so, I was going to get into it, but you inserted that information, so Quantum Racer jumped in here. But
having not heard what was initially stated, I do find it interesting that you would make a statement that you're not sure about and then stand by it.
Let me just jump in real quick.
That's weird to me.
Let me jump in real quick to kind of highlight to Crypto. We're talking about axial rotation, and then Unisco chimed in to say why he thinks that it is possible. Unisco, are you there?
Hello.
Did you want to go ahead and tell Crypto why you're not going to retract the statement you did?
Why I'm not?
Yeah, go ahead and tell him why you think that axial rotation is possible.
I'm confused with what you're asking.
Okay,
hey, Meg, just move on. Can you get to the vacuum of space before I freaking fall over here?
Well, he was listening to the conversation, so obviously he is prepared for this. So now we're going to talk about point number 3, Unisco. That the vacuum of space is a medium that you could travel to, or that it actually exists. So how has it been proven to you that is the case? Unisco.
Again, I'm confused. I'm confused with what you're asking.
Okay, so according to you, do you think that when you look up at the night sky that you're staring into the vacuum of space? Yes or no?
Probably.
Okay, so there's a 50-50 chance that you're looking into the vacuum of space? Is that what I'm getting?
No, I'm saying it is a vacuum.
All right. So that's what I'm trying to get at. So now with that information, how do you know it's a vacuum? Go ahead.
I'm not entirely sure.
That is the point. It's a belief that you have in your mind that the pressurized system in which we live is adjacent to the vacuum of space in which they tell you. So you have a belief in your mind. Is that correct?
I suppose.
Okay. Well, that's what we're highlighting with the previous buddy that was on here, Kame Zonda.
Hello.
And being an intellectually honest person, you would have to say that to be the case because it can't be supported by anything in the way of evidence that you could verify. Correct?
Sure.
All right. So putting you guys that just joined here, and I'm going to unmute Ben H because I think Ben H was in your group as well. All right, Ben H, were you listening to the conversation? Because I'm going to kind of wrap this up for all three of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So the understanding that you guys have right now, according to you guys, of the globe Earth is only just a belief. In every area that we've talked about, curvature, axial rotation, and the vacuum of space. And I didn't tell you that. You conceded on your own that it is a belief, that it can't be supported by anything that you have in the way of evidence.
But then,
Okay,
how do you know? How do you know that they don't exist, though? Because if
Nope.
you're saying that we're believing these people because they're telling us, aren't
Sure.
you basically like them? Because if I believe you, then
Right.
wouldn't they have the same argument that I'm believing you?
Because all I'm doing right now is falsifying the information that you guys are.
See, what you're
believing
saying.
is true.
What you're saying is fact.
Absolutely.
No,
But
hold on a sec. You're presenting. Okay, so I see what you're doing here. You're saying that Miggy is the equivalent of NASA or whoever.
Well, if that's who
and
he's
so
saying,
therefore, I didn't finish. So, and therefore, you're in a position where you have to believe one or the other. That's not the case.
Mm-mm.
What Miggy is saying is that if they haven't proven what they're saying to be true, then you shouldn't believe it. That he hasn't made a claim yet. So you need to wait for Miggy to actually make a claim before you put him in the position of claim maker. Does that make sense?
but I'm not going to believe him.
I'm not asking you to believe him, and he hasn't actually given you anything to believe.
Right.
Yeah,
He's
just
not made a
falsified.
claim.
Then doesn't that just make the whole flat Earth thing just flawed?
No,
Because
no,
why
listen.
would I believe you?
Okay. So you have a fundamental problem with philosophy. You don't understand very basic philosophical concepts. But let's just start at the very beginning. If someone makes a claim, whose job is it to provide evidence for the claim?
I guess an expert.
No. If somebody makes a claim, whose job is it to provide evidence for the claim? The claimer or the person listening to the claim?
Claimer.
Exactly.
Mm.
So, what Miggy's trying to say to you is that these people who are claiming thing X haven't got evidence for the claim. This is not a claim that Miggy has made. He is simply pointing out the lack of evidence for someone else's claim.
His logic is undeniable. Crypto. That's my boy. What's it? You was eating chips on a hot mic, damn it.
So I'm still trying to puzzle this together.
Well, no, that's all right, man. Because I mean, like when you guys came in here, it was almost, I don't know what maybe you were thinking. It was just going to be some kind of meme or maybe just a weird chat or something.
This entire like theory is memed. Like,
It's not a theory.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so other people think it's silly. No one cares what other people think.
oh, I'm not saying it's silly. I think it's interesting. I just wanted to hear people's opinions.
Right.
Okay, fine.
Right.
So let me put you an example. Right, let's get rid of the flat Earth for now. Let's just park that. So me and Miggy are, let's just say, competing. I have the theory that there is a unicorn in my house, right? And I don't show you any evidence. I just show you a picture of a unicorn, right? And Miggy comes to you and goes, "Oh yeah, crypto hasn't actually proved that. He's just shown you a picture." So this is what we're doing now. So would you say to Miggy, "Oh, you haven't disproven that crypto's got a unicorn," or would you be coming to me going, "Bro, prove your unicorn"?
Bro, I'm gonna have to see that damn unicorn. I'm a skeptic.
I mean, to say it's fact, I would have to see the unicorn in your house.
Yeah, of course. I would need to prove it, right?
Yeah, fact is that which is demonstrable, yes?
So it doesn't matter that Miggy questioning me having a unicorn isn't a claim. He's just said, "Well, I haven't seen evidence for the unicorn," but that's what he's doing with NASA.
Okay, yeah. So it's like, so they haven't proven to us that the Earth is round because obviously we can't go out there and see the Earth is round because obviously we're on said or globe or flat Earth. But what you're saying is fact for you is the Earth is flat. But how can you actually prove to me that it is?
No,
It's
we're not
observ-
making. We're not even at the point where we've made a claim yet.
Right.
So we haven't even got there yet. All
But
Miggy
you,
was.
okay, yeah, sure. But you believe the Earth.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know the Earth is flat. Yes.
It measures flat. That's
It's
all I'd say.
observably
Okay,
flat.
but
It's an
have you actually
observation.
seen the
Yeah.
Earth?
Slow down.
Right.
Yes, it's,
What did I
it's an
say?
observation.
3 words. What did I say?
Can't really remember.
I said
We
it
haven't really
measures
made a
flat.
claim yet.
1 second, Spartan. I didn't say observe. I didn't say you look at it and it looks flat. I said it measures flat.
That's
Okay.
right. He went out and actually measured it.
But
Actually,
wasn't there?
measured it.
So if you're on about flatness, wasn't there an experiment done by flat earthers that didn't work
No.
involving a
I-
laser?
Yeah.
I don't care what other people did. It doesn't
Well, no,
matter.
but they're your society, so you should care.
No,
No,
they're
you-
not my society.
Our
I'm
society.
not a member of a society.
So there's
People
multiple
just
societies
bring
with
up in-
different theories.
Well, hang on. There's
What
a
are you
tangent
talking about?
happening. There's a tangent happening
Yeah, what are
right
you
now.
talking about?
We're going off on a tangent. 1 second. Well, let me just bring this back.
Sorry,
We're going off on a tangent now, Kame Zonda. I think we need to bring it back to what we're talking about and understand the falsification that just happened here. All three of you guys. Well, and I'm including Ben H because he was listening to the conversation. But I'm pretty sure he's going to agree with, not being able to produce any verified evidence. So understanding these points is paramount in what you're thinking that you believe in right now. Because it's been falsified. And you
Right,
proved it by your own admission. It's been falsified by your own admission that you
And-
said it's just a belief that you have. Do you
Well,
understand
sure,
that
I
point?
just said it with the flat Earth. I believe the Earth is flat.
Well,
I believe the Earth
it
is
doesn't.
open.
Okay,
I don't
right,
know.
that-
I don't
it
actually
doesn't-
know.
We'll
I
get there.
understand, Kim Zonda. I understand that, but with the understanding that you had of the globe Earth, you understand right now that it's a belief because it's been elucidated to you. So now you know that it's just a belief that you have. Can you go ahead,
Hey,
Beto?
he walked past that to say, "What about Bob in this documentary this other guy produced? It made it look like you guys did something wrong." So cute.
But I just wanted to address the fact that it
Yeah.
has been demonstrated to him that what he has is just a belief.
There's no proof for it.
And there's no need to cling to it religiously. Because if you just hang on to it because you only believe and you can't demonstrate it, what does that say? I mean, that's got to at least ring some alarm bells in your mind.
It's like that poster, that movie star on your wall, and you can't get rid of it because you still believe one day you're gonna date her.
Right. Right. That's a good analogy, Mike.
One of these
But
days, Raquel, me and you, baby.
Silence is good. I mean, yeah, I'll take that. But it's just more or less for you guys to come to that realization. And then we can start moving forward with some questions and having an honest discussion between us instead of it being something
sure.
where
So,
you're
I mean, I don't know the Earth is
Okay.
round. I don't know the Earth is flat.
fair enough.
So, I'm not gonna come to the realization that I know by fact that the Earth is flat or the Earth is round because I cannot see it for myself.
Right.
So,
But that understanding though came down to it should be paramount in your investigation. Because when you're even just looking into it, I'm not talking about full blown research, but just looking into the topic like you're doing right now, having a discussion, that should be paramount in how you proceed forward. When you start thinking about what we're talking about here, when you actually think about, well, yeah, that's just a belief I hold in my mind. I can't try to justify it now because it's, it would be wrong of me to do that because I only believe it to be true. I don't know. Do you understand? Like, so instead of being a bit combative, you can just kind of bring those walls down and be like, okay, so what do you guys have like in the way of evidence? And we'll show you, So do you want to know?
I mean, you could show me evidence, but that's not fact to me.
Oh,
If you
you
choose to
just
falsify it.
hang on. You can't hover over a crystal ball and know what I'm going to show you, Kamzanda.
Right.
Yeah,
You don't even know what I'm going to show you.
Sure, but how do I know that that's not you falsifying evidence?
Because
you could go out and verify it yourself.
yeah, you could go verify it. That's the difference. I'm not going to give you a belief just like you just left or thinking about. I'm going to actually show you something you can demonstrate to yourself.
You
If
can
that's
Right
not
here on-
go out. Yeah, you can actually go out and do this observation and prove it to yourself without even having to listen to anyone here that it measures flat. You can do that
They just know
yourself.
most people aren't going to go do it.
Well, that's because they're lazy.
well, let's not jump the gun with what they're going to do or not do. Let's at least give
He
the
was.
opportunity.
No, I'm just saying they know most people aren't actually out there trying to do it.
Yeah.
He
So it doesn't
started it, Dad. He started
Yeah.
it, Dad.
We got to at least offer them the opportunity before we gun them down. Like I think they should at least hear out what we have to say on the matter. So now that you know that the globe Earth is just a belief, the information that we could present to you could be quite compelling. Without waving your hand over a crystal ball and then saying that you can see what I'm going to present to you, maybe just let me present something to you and then look into that afterwards. How about that?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. If you can go to live stream voice text, then I'll start dropping some information in there. How about that?
Wait. Okay. Wait. Is there a link here? Or
Well, in
the
live,
voice channel. The voice. Did I say the voice?
the
text? Okay.
yeah, the voice
Yeah.
text channel.
Okay, I'm in there. Yeah.
Here, I'll tag you in there so you know you're in the right lobby.
Yep, I got it.
All right. So what I'm going to drop to you here, it's called specular reflection.
Ooh, good one. Good
Couple of
choice.
images. Couple of images here for you to take a look at. Now there's gonna be some questions that you might want to ask, but I just want to present this to you so that you could look at and kind of maybe ask some questions while I'm presenting it to you. But with what we're seeing here with a specular reflection, it cannot be possible that you could have it on anything but a smooth surface, and the angle that you see should be a flat surface, all straight across. So do you see the water?
It looks pretty flat to me.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
convexity
You're being honest
would-
here, right?
would
I mean, go ahead.
Convexity would distort the image. It wouldn't be possible on a convex Earth, whether it's curvature or depression. Either way, it would distort the image. There'd be no symmetry.
Right.
There's
So
first-
why would that be? Why would that be the case that Battle Spartan just said right now, that it would distort the image if we did live on a ball Earth and there was curvature in that water? Why would it distort the image, Kamzanda? I'll let you kind of just critically think about what we're talking about here.
Well, I was confused what you saw.
Okay, so with the images that we're showing you,
Yeah.
if the Earth was a globe and it was bending like the way they say it is.
Oh, are you saying that those images should theoretically be bending?
Well, think about it.
It'd be all
Well,
one.
because the Earth is so
No,
big.
No,
Okay.
not theoretically. We can demonstrate that if it was
Oh, okay, sure. I'll retract the word
we can demonstrate with a convex mirror that it would be a distorted image with no symmetry, meaning there'd be no equal reflection.
With the slightest convexity.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, but the Earth is so big that
Right. Well,
would
it's not
be
That's why I said
really
with the
far out.
slightest convexity.
right. So
Like-
that answer has been the one that gets popped up the most when we present this information. But what is the problem with what you're saying? I'm going to let you think about that, Kamzada. What is the problem with what you're saying about it being too big?
Well, because like you can get a rubber ball in your hand, and if you magnify it so far, like as if you were basically a human size on the globe, it will be flat, and that's where that photo has been taken.
Well,
So what's the
here's
difference
thing-
between?
Hold up. Here's the thing you can't do with that rubber ball, whether you magnify it or decrease it. You can't get a specular reflection like that off that spherical object. Sorry.
Okay, so what do we have in the way of knowing what size the Earth is instead of saying it's just too big? What do we have in the way of knowing what the size is? We have the metrics, right?
Yeah,
know
you presented measurements earlier.
Right. There's a known radius, circumference, diameter. All these numbers are already established for the globe. So
and they've been measured, right? Like people.
well,
No,
well, it's
not
not
directly
measured. Yeah, it's not
No, they
directly
were
measured.
calculated based on a spherical assumption.
So these numbers have been given to us to actually test the globe to see if it is what it is or not, and that's why people don't. When they do that, they're not going to find that there is any curvature. But we do have these numbers that have already been established. So when somebody says the Earth is too big, then we say, well, how if it's too big, then how come they give us these numbers? Like they wouldn't be able to. So
Who's given these? I'm curious, who's given these numbers?
okay, so the Earth has been established to be a set radius for what, thousands of years since Al-Biruni?
Yep.
Yep.
Long before Aristotle.
Long before Aristotle.
Eratosthenes. my bad.
Bro, the numbers are coming from the globe Earth model. Those
Right.
are the numbers.
Right. They're
What's,
your
that,
numbers.
what's to say that they're actually the numbers?
So
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
our
fine.
point.
We doubt them as well. We doubt them
Well,
too, bro. So we're on the
here's
same
the
side.
thing.
So if you're doubting them, then why are you using them?
Here's the
No,
thing.
okay,
Listen,
dude. Right, let me
if
get.
we
Let me
want to
get.
destroy your model,
Come on,
we had
get
to
everyone in here cock blocking.
No,
your
but what's
math.
going on is that
Right.
no one's actually addressing the points. Let me just get really. If I tell you that
Fargan
I've got
bastard.
a blue unicorn, yeah, and then turns out that it's green, do you see a problem with that? You'd say, well, that's not blue. So we're taking the model, we're taking the numbers, and we're seeing if those numbers are true.
Okay.
That's it. So
So-
if you doubt them and we doubt them,
You're saying the numbers that you've been given compared to those images shouldn't exist.
More
Yes,
than
yes.
just those images.
Yeah, he's on point. Okay, so now we're back on track. So that's where we're at right there with the images that are being presented to you. Because the answer was in your mind when you saw it, and you're like, what if the Earth is just too big? Well, now we're going to go back to the metrics because that doesn't pan out if you think that. Because there is a curvature drop rate, and there would be curvature to distort that image if it was a said ball, but it's not. And so we have this specular reflection that shows clear images of the background of the mountains in the far distance, and so on, and the different specular reflections that we see in the different images that we have been presented to you.
Well, the mountains in the background, it's quite difficult to see if it is curving or flat because they're distorted. So, like, if I look at the middle part, that's obviously the flat part. That's easier to
Right, but
determine.
what we're saying though, Kamzanda, is that the mountain in the distance wouldn't bounce off with the angles that it does into your reflecting into your eye, because of the fact that the curvature wouldn't allow that image to appear on the lake the way it does.
Yeah, the reflection of the mountains, bro.
Yeah, that's what we're concentrating, not the mountains. It's the reflection that's reflected off the water into your eye, the observer's eye, or the lens, or whatever he's using to take that image. Do you understand that? That's what's important. That's what's key here. Because if
What's
there was
key
a said curvature,
What's key
Go ahead,
here is
Godrocket.
he's trying, no matter what, he's trying every little thing to try and say, well, what about this? What about, he's got a case
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
yellow.
yeah, he's all right, Godrocket. It's all
Listen,
good.
Tell him why the reflection wouldn't exist, why it wouldn't go to his eye and it'd be off in the sky, bro, if we were on a sphere. The angle of incidence equals
Right, yeah.
the angle of refraction. So the image wouldn't be delivered perfectly to your eye on a spherical object because it'd be refracted at an incidence angle that would project it up into the sky. It would be diffused or distorted. It has to be delivered to your eyeball. This is how we see light.
I'm gonna drop a few images here that show like light being hit over surfaces that are not, clear. So the image wouldn't be, observed by the person to be what you see. It would be distorted.
Miggy's got this topic down. If the rest of us just stay out of his way, he'll be able to do tricks on his bike all night.
Do you see what I'm
quite well? Sorry, bro. Sorry.
That's all right. Do you see what I'm presenting, Cape Zonda?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the case here, and that's what happens when people start thinking that it's too big or it just doesn't work, because you would not get the reflection on that water bounce into the observer's eye.
Okay.
It's compelling, isn't it? And that's really what all I want you to kind of look at. I don't want you to jump into it and be like, oh yeah, I believe Earth is flat. I just want you to think about the information given to you. Because at first it was like, okay, what do you guys got to show me, and how can I do this myself? And the thing is, here's the evidence, right? And you could go out and do this yourself. Find a really calm day where there's a lake that you can have something in the background, take a clear image of it, and voila, you could do it for yourself. You can even find known distances from your where you're making the observation to things in the far distance to actually get an estimate of how far things are away and how they're being reflected on that water. I mean, that would even increase the information for you to actually understand that this couldn't happen on a ball Earth. It can only happen on a flat level plane of existence. That's the only way.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I'm done here. But
Okay.
one last thing before I mute.
All right.
What would need to be shown to you for you to change your mind? It's always been curious to me.
Okay.
Actual
Well, ask
evidence.
yourself that.
Yeah, actual evidence, bro. It should
So,
be
for
clear
example,
by
you
now.
would need to, you know, I think it's Virgin are doing like space shuttles.
Oh,
No, what I
Virgin
would
Galactic.
all I would need, you don't have to take me to space,
How
bro.
old
Bro,
you
check
are?
this.
Or would you
Virgin
say it's
Galactic.
simulation?
How old are you?
Listen,
Check
Virgin,
how old are you?
Virgin Galactic still
One
owes
second.
people money, bro. Quit with the fairy tale crap. We need empirical proof.
We haven't.
Scientific
Yeah,
evidence
how
that
old are
we
you?
can test and repeat.
So
We
if
haven't
you're
put
saying that if they put you in the rocket
Comes on,
and
how old are
showed
you?
you the planet, you
Comes on,
wouldn't
how old
really
are you?
curve.
I don't want to have to keep asking. How old are you?
Is that what I said?
1 second, please.
My age
1
doesn't matter.
second. I'm not coming through. Comes on, how old are you?
Why is that relevant?
Because I think I'm older than you, and I've been hearing about Virgin Galactic since the 90s.
Right.
Okay.
They've been
Well,
talking
it
about
doesn't
it for
help
20
that.
odd
It
years.
doesn't help that a couple years ago.
Never
it
But hey,
happened.
check
So I think
this,
that's
my
where you're
man. I
delayed
don't
a
even
bit.
need you to send me to space, bro. You don't even have to send me to space. All I need you to do is go out and find the geometric horizon or the Earth curve, right, based on the radius value. Literally, if you can just go substantiate a physical obstruction of convexity of terra firma or Earth curvature that's consistent with the radius value that they told us, and you can go do this all around the Earth and find this geometric horizon, boom, I'm convinced.
Wait,
Well,
we didn't
But
put
then wouldn't you just argue that it's
yeah,
false?
1 second. We didn't put a stake in the heart of the vacuum of space just yet. We only talked about how you had a belief that it actually exists. So the stake in the heart to the vacuum of space as to would demolish your any idea of a fantasy medium that you could travel to would be gas pressure without a container. If you could demonstrate that, then you would have all the space you wanted, the vacuum of space anyway, and rockets to the moon and everything. But if you can't demonstrate gas pressure without a container, then you have absolutely squat nothing. So that is the stake in the heart of the idea that you can actually travel to this fictitious medium that you consider to be where men are flying around the Earth in a tin can, the ISS. So can you demonstrate any way possible that you can have gas pressure without a container?
I'm sorry. Wait, what was the question?
Can you demonstrate gas pressure without a container?
No.
No, you're being intellectually honest, right? You can't do it. Okay, so the Earth is purported to be an open system, meaning that the high pressure that we have here on Earth is adjacent to the low pressure of the vacuum of space. And whenever we have such things adjacent to each other, what do you think happens? In any instance here on Earth, like just the laws of nature, what would happen? Gas pressure next to a low pressure, a high pressure system next to a low pressure. What happens in that instance?
I don't know.
This is literally how the weather system works, is that if you have high pressure and low pressure, okay, one goes to the other, okay?
Which one goes to the other though?
Well, high pressure goes towards a low pressure.
Correct. That is correct. So,
the atmosphere would go away from the Earth if it was a round ball, which has been perpetuated by the media for 25 trillion years or whatever it is.
Okay, Zed, I think you're a new person in here. You might just hold
I've
back.
been here for months.
Sorry, yeah, Zed's with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Just hang back for a second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
even if it's with
Zed's
you guys.
dead. Zed's dead, man. Zed's dead. That's the problem.
What?
Zed's dead.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That was my point. So what he's trying to tell you is to cut it short, so we're not here for the next 35 minutes with, just.
I'd muted.
So what Mickey's trying to tell you is that what they're describing, their story, when they're put up on the stand, they're saying it's a vacuum of space. That's a second law of thermodynamics violation. So either the second law of thermodynamics is false or they're lying. Your choice. Thanks.
Really, at this point, there's more evidence of Bigfoot
Hold on a
than
second.
the Earth
Hold on
being
a
a
second.
globe.
Wait a second. Let him take that in. Don't jump to another topic. Either the second law of thermodynamics is false or they're lying.
Yeah, I wasn't changing topics. I was simply saying that
Let's just chill right here. Let's just drop anchor.
there's just more evidence of Bigfoot than there is of a globe. That's all I was saying.
Thanks.
I mean, if people don't get it, it's like.
Cape Zonda, do you have any response?
I'm confused. I wasn't talking about vacuum of space.
No, you said Virgin Galactic going into the vacuum of space.
We're back to that now, are we?
No, the point is that space couldn't exist
Okay.
there. That's where we're at. The part of the fairy tale that says that there's space, a near perfect vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torr adjacent to a pressurized system in which we experience every day and know to be true because that's how we're alive. That could never happen.
All right, so I just want to bring forth the point that he said, if I can show you guys that Virgin Galactic goes into space, that's what you said, would you guys believe in the globe? So
No,
we're talking.
No, I said if you're in it, not if you saw it.
So it doesn't matter who's in it. The point is, it's going to be going into this fictitious medium. So we're talking about the medium that you're describing right now. If we could go there, then would you believe that it's a globe? But you can't go there. That's what Quantum was telling you, right?
But then if you did, you'd be like, oh shit, you can.
You can't go. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me correctly or not.
Well, what if?
Can I go through another? Look, I like my analogies because I think they help
the
elucidate
biggest two-letter word in the dictionary.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
I like analogies because I think they help to elucidate faulty ways of thinking. So, I'm just going to go through this as Camazonda quickly. Camazonda, if I took you on a dragon to World of Warcraft, would you believe in World of Warcraft?
What color's the dragon?
Wait, say that again.
If I took you on a dragon to World of Warcraft, would you believe in World of Warcraft?
Yes.
Okay, but does that mean that World of Warcraft exists?
If.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Okay, so World of Warcraft is real. Is it?
Well, if you've taken me there, yes.
So do you see how pointless your question is?
Yeah, if.
No.
You're
What do you
saying
mean, no?
if, bro. If.
This is what you're asking. You're asking, if I take you to a place that may or may not exist, will you accept that it exists? Well, if you took me there, it would have to exist.
Okay,
that
yes.
isn't proof that it exists,
Then I
is it?
apply that to you. Like, if Virgin put you in a rocket, and
Think about the question.
No, let me speak.
No,
let me
don't, no.
Don't
You
repeat
And then if I put you
it,
into a rocket and put you in space,
You're not understanding. Stop talking and start thinking.
No, I'm Ben saying.
Talking and start thinking.
He said no.
You don't want to think. Okay, fine, whatever. Clearly, dude, saying that you might be able to go somewhere that may or may not exist is not proof that it exists.
Well, give me
This
the
is
simple
fundamentally
answer.
silly.
If I was taken to space, I'd probably believe in it, but I haven't been, so here we are.
But I mean, realistically, even if you were, you would just be delusional and still believe.
You're self-projecting because you don't even know anything about this. Hey, how about this? Watch this. Watch this. Where does space start?
Hold up, bro. Did you hear what I said? If you took me to space, I'd probably believe in it. This is what Ron fucking told you. But you haven't taken me there, so here the fuck we are.
Where even does space supposedly start? Do you know?
I'm not going to debate it, bro.
No, I'm just making a point, man.
It's a fucking fairy tale.
He has no idea where space even supposedly starts. And you're coming here pretending that we're delusional because we don't believe in it. We know every single little specific detail of the fairy tale. You think we're dumb for not believing in. Do you see the irony there?
If you only knew.
If you're saying a rocket,
Yeah, I do. It's pretty ironic.
Listen, bro, you ain't taking us there yet. You haven't proven space, so we're not even going to debate that on your if.
I just want an honest answer to my question. I don't feel like he really understood it.
Okay, how do
Can I get a mic
how do
check?
Does
planes
World of
work?
Warcraft exist?
How do planes work then?
Does World of Warcraft exist?
Listen, planes
If you
don't
take it
work.
One
me to
second,
it,
please. Can I just get him to answer this honestly? Does World of Warcraft exist?
If you taken me to it, yeah.
Exactly. So does that prove that it exists?
If we're going on the theory that you've taken me there, yes.
Think about it.
Yeah, but we haven't
gone there
taken you
yet.
there. So
Please, Battle Spartan, 1 second. If we haven't gone there yet, how is
this
posing
sounds
this question?
retard level. You
I
don't
know
get it.
he is, but I'm doing it for everyone else listening as well.
Can we not use ableist language, please?
So how is asking the
There is
question?
no we, bro.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, listen. How is asking the question evidence that that place exists?
Because that's you're basically giving me an example and I'm answering the question. If I was put in that situation.
Right. So we haven't gone yet. So how is me asking you this question proof that World of Warcraft is reality? Oh, he bailed. Right, okay.
He bailed.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I would say that World of Warcraft is real because trolls exist.
Oof.
That's one of the worst cases of the yabbits I've ever seen.
I think that's one of the times that Crypto's analogies weren't hitting home with that guy anyway.
I was just wondering how many minutes we were going to spend on if. How many different ways can you emphasize if doesn't prove shit?
This dude just randomly screamed like, "Well, how do planes work?"
It was real simple. If he just answered Quantum Eraser's point, if he would have just answered that point, he would have seen the light. But I think he diverted into.
I don't think he would. He was already dodging it. He was already dodging QE's point by saying Virgin Galactic, bro. He didn't get it.
So okay, then how do planes work?
Hey, what color's that dragon? Damn it, I want to ride.
I don't know, mate. Red.
I brought up the second law after Virgin Galactic.
That was after, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he said Virgin Galactic again, didn't he? You remember?
Here's a good one. Virgin
Well, he
Galactic.
could say toilet drains. That wouldn't matter.
Yeah, no, of course. But that's my point. Is he doesn't know why it's not a rebuttal to your point.
Yeah.
Virgin Galactic is still a virgin. It's never penetrated space.
You guys are a bunch of fargan bastages, man.
Yeah, that's a four-way highway. That's a four-lane highway.
It's Friday night.
For example,
right to your parkway.
Yeah, I can get in the fast lane and pass your parking ass. But that's not a part.
All you guys come in drunken stupor and friggin' cock block Miggy. I was rolling, right? I was like,
I know you were laughing, man. I bet you was like, man, he's just dying right now.
I'm really not sure. Am I okay to speak? I'm still not entirely sure how these things work.
Go on.
Well, one piece of advice for you before you start: just make sure you actually like respond to what's being said to you, relevant to the discussion, right? Like, don't just scattergun thinking about what you can come up with to ask next as soon as someone gets done talking. Really take in what they're saying so we can have productive combo.
Yeah, I've been in this Discord before. I've been here for a few months.
I feel like we're just being long trolled.
No.
Oh, you were co-piloting for him.
I wasn't co-piloting for anyone. He joined well before I did.
All right, then. So, is there anything you want to bring to the table right now? Any conversation?
Could I get a microphone check, please?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
helps. Can you get another microphone check in like 5 seconds after Miggy's done introducing the topic again?
Could you get another microphone, please?
Breaker.
Mic check.